Anzel. Laubscher, do I pronounce it right?
Laubscher, yes.
Yes, yeah.
Hi, Carl.
Hey, it's, think like a child, and then?
Teach like an adult. Think like a child, teach like an adult.
That was the essence of your presentation.
That for us to get into the minds of children and for them to understand what we want to teach them, we have to think like them. And that the classroom should be about the child and not about the teacher. So often the teachers, as a teacher or a coach, we want the environment to be comfortable to us.
Yeah.
But it's not about us, it's about the children in the first place. So children have a very short span of experience in their life to connect certain things with. So whenever we teach them something new, then they want to connect it to something that's familiar to them, like all of us do, even as adults. And if you're 30 years old or 40 years old, you have a bigger database that you can connect with.
Frame of reference.
Yes, and children don't have that. So if a child is 5 or 6 and we want to teach them something new, we need to get into their world and to something that they can connect with.
Yes, I think this is basic. For example, I'm a teacher myself in chess, and if I see they are struggling on the board, and then I ask them, because better ask questions than give answers, do you sometimes cross the street? Yes, I said, what do you do? Well, left, right. And why don't you do it at the chessboard? Because they use this perspective like a lot of adults also do. They have their ideas projected on the world, but first you should turn it around, first see what's happening.
Yes, absolutely. And also we often as teachers or even just adults, we miss chances to learn from children and to teach them certain things, because I believe the brain that does the thinking does the learning. And once you figure something out yourself, you most likely will not forget it. But if someone just tells you the answer, then it might just one ear in, one ear out, you know. So that's why it's important whenever a child gives you, if you ask a child a question and they answer you, whether the answer is right or wrong, always ask why. So even if the answer is right, on the chessboard, if you ask them to solve something and they give the answer, and you say, yes, but why? Because then you can understand whether they really understand it or whether it was just a lucky shot or how deep the understanding is. And obviously if they say, if they give the wrong answer, then you have to ask more questions.
Yeah.
Because if you ask questions, they think. But if you give them tips and answers the whole time, you're not allowing them to figure it out for themselves. I often use the example when you ask, and you can use this at home as well, even as a parent, or do it to your wife or your husband or whatever. If you ask someone, how was your day?
Yeah.
When the child gets in the car from school and you ask, how was your day? And he or she says, it was good. Okay, so what did you learn as a parent? What did you learn about your child's day? And what did your child really share about his or her day? So if they say it was good, ask them, what was good about it?
Yes, okay, I understand that it's for the general development of the child, very good.
Yes.
But what can chess contribute on the personal development of children and later on, like you tell, the society eventually?
Well, first of all, chess is a very good tool, especially when children go to first grade. Because before school, I call it big school and little school. So when they're in preschool, little school, the majority of time, percentage-wise, per day, they spend playing compared to learning. And once they go to big school, it's the other way around. So chess can be used as a very valuable tool to breach that percentage switch. Because you can teach them certain skills, mathematical skills, literacy, through chess, but they won't even realize that they're learning, but they're playing, you know. So
Einstein said playing is the best way to learn.
yes. Yes, maybe playing, but also teaching is also a good way to learn. Teaching is also a good way to learn.
Yeah, well, I tell also when a kid comes to me with a question, I said, did you ask it the other kids?
Yes, yes.
And then because teaching each other That's also very valuable for the development, I guess.
Peer teaching is very important for the development of the little teacher in that sense, but also not only that, it's also important because often you have a group of children that you teach at a time, and as we all know as teachers, you can only move through learning as fast as your slowest learner, because we can't leave anyone behind. So often you have someone, a learner who's quite fast at getting certain concepts and ideas.
Yeah,
And then what do you do? How do you manage that in the classroom now?
I can tell you.
So you use the one who's the faster learner to teach the slower learner.
Partly, but the other sides, when this problem in schools, it's very heterogeneous sometimes. And even if they start with 0, after 3 weeks there is a difference. So what I do, for example, I use this charismatic program for learning the tactics, and then they can do it at their own space, at their own level. And I walk around. I'm not, and I'm just coaching, and it's kind of development, discovery learning, and they can do it together or alone.
Yes.
So there are all kinds of methods, because it's it would also be wrong, I guess, if the fastest students should stop and only be used as teachers for the others.
Oh no, I did not say only be used. I said they may be used.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's because when you use them to teach someone else, they also learn. Because I said teaching is one of the best ways to learn as well.
Yeah.
But only up to a point. Obviously, I mean the child does not have to. You don't want to abuse that privilege you have as a teacher, and therefore you need to have certain resources to stimulate and to progress with the faster learners as well. Obviously, in the classroom.
Yeah, and there is always this all learning is about transfer. You
Yes.
learn this and then, but then is it only cognitive, or are there more domains in which chess can be give added value?
Well, definitely social development and emotional development. But that's why it's also important for the teacher to understand the emotional stage of the child. Because I mean I've seen kids, especially under the age of 9, when they play a chess tournament or a chess game and they blunder a piece, so let's go say they go a rook or a queen down, and then they start crying at the chessboard, you know. And often you find that parents, especially the dads, will say, no, come on, especially if it's a boy, don't cry, people are watching, you know. And that's the worst thing to do, because a child at that age normally don't have the ability to control their emotions. So what you need to do is, well, give them a tissue and, you know, let them get through it. But sometimes they also have to feel that pain for the next time when they blunder a piece.
Yeah, but you mentioned parents, and I think there's what I see. There's parents are very many cases not aware of all kinds of aspects, like giving good feedback, giving support, expecting too much, not giving them the right to be wrong, etc. There are hundreds of pitfalls. And a lot of kids quit because parents don't react right to them.
That's exactly why we need to coach and teach the parents in the process as well. This is often as a chess coach as well. I know I work a lot with the parents, and I try to have a good relationship with the parents, especially the kids that I coach privately, because I often have frank talks with the parents and say, listen, this is affecting the child in this and this and this way, you know. So and most of the parents appreciate that, because parenting is not easy, as we know.
What's your own role, by the way? You are a chess player?
I am a chess player. I'm a women's international master. I've been playing since I was 9 years old, and I played for the South African national team since '98. So this will mark my quarter of a century, 25 years that I played for the national team. And I've been coaching since I left school. I started coaching immediately, but while I was studying. Other than this, I'm an advocate in law. I think in the UK they call it barristers. So
barrister in England, I think.
Yeah. So I'm an advocate in law. I practice law as well, and especially my passion is human rights. So this is why children are very close to my heart, in that sense.
Yeah. And then So you always was, besides a player, you were also a coach, a trainer.
Yes, yes. I coached the little ones from a very young age, up to high performance, but I'm one of those coaches. The moment I see the child outgrew me as a coach, then I'm the first one to move the child to a stronger coach.
Of course, but do you do group training or individual training?
Both. I do private coaching and I do group coaching as well. I do
But with
online.
established talents, or also at primary schools, for example, or in the neighborhood or whatever?
Yeah, well, now since COVID, we discovered this, or online coaching obviously became quite popular. So I do a lot of my coaching online, but I also work a lot with training adults on how to work with kids, because then you can actually reach more kids by training the teachers. And this is where my role is at the moment, where my role is quite strong, in the sense that I serve on the FIDE Education Commission, and we deliver the preparation of teachers' courses.
I think a lot is happening in this committee at the moment.
Amazing stuff.
It was just, we did not hear anything.
Yeah, Carl, we are really an absolutely dynamic team, and we meet weekly, a few times. Sometimes Jerry and I, or Rita and I, we will see each other 4, 5, 6 times in a week in certain meetings. Because at the moment we're engaging with federations to understand their need in chess and education. And some federations are ready to roll it out as part of their school curriculums already, for instance. And they need help with that. Others have nothing and they want to start it. So we do all that. At the moment, there's a lot of focus on Africa, because I started in December 2021. I took the initiative to take the online preparation of teachers course that was in process then, to take that into person. So I went to Kenya for the first one, and I had a co-presenter, who's Robert Katenda from Queen of Katwe. I don't know if you've seen the movie.
I see the movie.
Yes.
I know some people who were in the movie. Yeah.
Yes. So Robert co-presented with me in Kenya, and we had 74 participants in the first face-to-face presentation or delivery. And since then, it's just been booming out in Africa. All the countries want it, and
Well, it's very good, but I'm thinking about another approach besides this. Maybe you should also offer a platform to offer a lot of online best practices. So you're not only working top down, but also bottom up, and stimulate people learn from each other. And
this is absolutely what we're doing. So soon they will relaunch the Chess and Education website. They're working on it now, and once they relaunch that, there will actually be links for best practices, and we're already gathering all the best practices from different countries as we continue. So it's a really nice exercise to see that one shoe does not fit all. One size doesn't fit all.
There are books, there are videos you can present.
Yeah, but also certain things, certain methods of physical methods, So I think it's amazing for chess and education. Yeah.
What is your? Can you tell me about some takeaways from this conference?
Oh yes, definitely. I'm extremely excited about the collaborations that are happening here, connections and collaborations, and this is why. I do understand that there's still some restrictions or limitations on having these things face to face, but I saw the value in having it face to face again, because even now at lunch, you meet people and you exchange ideas, and that's extremely good. And the fact that chess is going to different levels, they are talking about coding and AI and incorporating chess into that. It's
very popularized via TikTok.
And TikTok, which as I have to say, unfortunately, as a chess and education supporter, I'm very cautious, and with a legal background, I'm very cautious of TikTok for kids.
Yeah, of course, this is other aspect, but on the other hand, I got myself some new teenagers who wanted to be my students because there were on social media some influencers who supporting chess, and they, hey, is this something for me?
So, Karel, can we expect a TikTok video from you soon, please?
No. I'm old-fashioned, but.
Oh, come on! Let's take up the challenge. Come on, Karel.
Okay, let's give it a try.
Good, you committed to this. You can't cut this out now.
I give it a thought. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karel.